Hi, Mr. Evans here. This video looks at the influences on decision making. Okay, final video in this section where we're going to consider these bullet points here as influences on the decision making process. So these are the influences that AQA want you to be aware of, and you should remember that these will be the things that managers will be considering when they make the kind of big strategic decisions about what the organisation is going to do. The first thing they want to consider is the organisation's mission and the extent to which the decision ties in with their stated mission statement. Okay, it's no good stating one thing in your mission statement and then making strategic decisions on the other hand that appear to go against that. Objectives, if you remember, objectives are shorter term goals. A good organisation will set itself a mission statement, but then from there it will give each member of staff a very clear objective to achieve by a particular date that will enable that business, by the achievement of all of those goals, will help the business work towards achieving its mission. Again, the management will want to consider, well, is this decision going to support the achievement of people's objectives or not? The management will also want to consider, so let's say that they have made the decision to open a new branch in a new town. Okay, so what smart objectives are they going to need to set for the regional manager of that area? So the process will go two ways. Does this decision support the achievement of objectives, and what objectives are we going to need to set for staff to ensure that this decision can be accurately carried out and will be achieved? Ethics. So this is one of the things that AQA identified that kind of runs throughout this unit. The ethical impact, the moral, is this a morally correct decision that we're making? The organisation will want to think how it's going to affect stakeholders. Are all stakeholders going to be affected in a positive way? Or at the very least, how can we minimise any negative impacts on stakeholders? What's going to be the effect on the environment if we take this? A good way to think about it is this a decision that I'm proud of? How would society view the decision? If the newspaper's got hold of this, would this go down well? All of these are kind of questions that can be asked. At the end of the day, management are people. They need to be able to sleep with their decisions. If they're making decisions that are bad for society, bad for the environment, that will be difficult to live with probably. Resource constraints. Obviously, every business is limited in the decisions that it can make by the resources that it has. They will need sufficient financial resources if they're going to go with that idea of opening the new branch. They're going to have to make sure that they've got human resources. Do they have the staff trained with the skills to man that new branch? What training will be required? Have they got the capacity to conduct that recruitment and training? What capital resources, what machinery is going to be needed to ensure that this decision is made? The external environment, obviously a huge area of discussion. Will the decision work well given the current state of the economy, predictions for the economy? What about political stability? Does that have an impact on the decision? How will Brexit affect this decision? Will it have any impact? How can technology be utilised rather than opening a new branch? Can we, we've got a branch 20 miles away. can we use an app and deliver to customers in that area? Something, all of those things will be considered. Finally, the level of competition, the competitors. If we operate in a competitive market, a decision by one business will lead to a reaction in their competitors. Has that been considered in any data that's been gathered and analysed? What are we expecting our competitors to do in response to this? So all of these are questions that management will be asking, and are questions that you can ask yourself in an exam if you have to advise or analyse, or a typical question that AQA like to ask is they'll give you a case study, they'll make it very clear that there is a decision to be made, and they'll say one director wants to do this. To what extent do you agree with them? Okay, and you will need to consider both sides of the argument, and these are possible arguments that you will want to analyse in your answer. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's influences on decision making.